What's going on, y'all? My name is Enoch. I'm here to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to be the best version of you that you could possibly be. I know that ain't an easy task, but let's go. Welcome back to Divine Motivation Podcast. Man, I really appreciate you tuning in. Remember, subscribe, like, share. If I say something you like, share it. Follow the Instagram, Divine Motivation _. You're going to get motivational videos every single day, whether you like it or not. Now let's get into it. Man, January is over. Like, this is crazy. Like, we was just saying Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Like, time is going. There's no stopping it. So it's like, you might as well get active. You might as well get to it. You might as well get focused now and stop waiting. Stop procrastinating. Last week we talked about, I used the analogy of a chef that if they cut themselves for the first time, any successful chef, they wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have achieved anything. And I want to go a little further with that as we end the month of January, the New Year's resolutions. Like, I wanna push that because I want you to, like, I truly want you to achieve these things, like, for real. Because when you're walking in your purpose, like, it's a feeling that's just so unmatched. Like, when you know you doing what you're supposed to do, doing what you put on this earth to do, walking in your calling, like, there's so much that comes with that. And that's why I want as much people as possible to, like, receive that. So as we speak further on that and as we go through the year, I want to kind of, like, help as much as I can. So one thing I started thinking about is, like, and I actually said I did a motivational video on Instagram this week, and it just came to me. It was like, yo, in things that we try, things that we're doing, you're going to take some L's, right? You're going to take some losses. But for me, it's only considered a loss if you didn't learn. If you did not learn from what happened, that could give you that so-called L, then that's a loss. Because that means you're not learning from your mistakes. And if you're not learning from your mistakes, that means you're not growing. And if you're growing, that means you're being stagnant. And if you're being stagnant, that means you're not being productive. And if you're not being productive, you're probably not in your purpose or your calling. Simple as that. So I'm really big on, like, because we all talk about, like, you have to fail to grow. You have to fail to go. I was like, I want to really hone in on that. And it's like, if you're not learning from your losses, then you lose. Because you're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. And you're going to be hoping for a different result. But you're not learning from the mistakes that's happening. You have to. So for me, I don't take L's. I don't take losses. Because I make it a priority that I learn. Like, okay, this didn't work. All right, let me do this. All right, I ain't getting no traction from that. All right, let me do this. You have to constantly learn. And I think that's where a lot of older people, they get stuck because sometimes they're not willing to keep learning. Sometimes they're not humble enough to say, like, I need to learn from other generations or somebody younger than me, older than me. That ego, you got to put that aside if you really trying to do something. if you're really trying to have some impact, if you're really trying to cause some change, if you want to make a difference in the world around you, you got to do those things. And learning from it is just dissecting, like, okay, let's break this down. How do I learn from a so-called loss? Look at it at face value. What happened? What was the goal? What didn't happen? What went wrong? Look at what went wrong and then say, okay, what can I do to make sure that doesn't happen again? Was it in my power? Was it outside sources that caused that? Like, really start looking at these things so that you can become better. That's the goal. Y'all know what I say, best version possible. How do you become your best version possible? It's not by just being your best version possible. It's by learning from the mistakes you had. Learning from those things that made you not so great. Learning from those things that made you not the best version of yourself. Those things that got you out of character. You want to know how to build your character? Look at those moments when you got out of character. What happened in those moments? What lost control? What got you off your path, off your footing? Look at those things. We always want to look at the wins and the great things that happen. I remember when I played football, coach used to be like, yo, it's hard to learn from a win. Yeah, we could watch film, but it's hard. You feeling good, like you watching film, just looking for all the plays you did good. But when you lose, that film hit different. You looking at that film like, I know I'm about to mess up here. They got me on film. Knew it. And now you like, I can't make that happen again. That's how you become great. When you look at that film after a loss and you say, I'm going to start practicing harder. I'm going to stop playing around. Cuz I don't want that to happen again. I know how that felt. I knew how it felt in the moment before I even saw it on the film. You know the plays you ran. You know what happened on the field. You already know. You don't need nobody to point it out for you. You don't need nobody pointing it out. You know what happened. And when you start taking that accountability and start really checking yourself like, yo, I'm slacking. I know I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's when the change is going to come. That's when that elevation starts to happen. Right here in your mind. It has to start there. You got to change your perspective. You got to change your approach. You got to change your mindset, how you come into it. You got to really be about it at the end of the day. You can't just talk about it. You got to really be about it. So understand, like, it's okay to take a so-called loss as long as you learn from it. Because ultimately, if you keep learning from those losses, those are just little wins. Stacking up. Stack them wins. And watch where you go. That's this week's episode. Man, I appreciate you tuning in. Could be watching anything. But you're watching me right now. And I appreciate that. You're listening to me right now. I appreciate that. For real. I don't take that for granted. Follow the Instagram, Divine Motivation _ motivational videos every single day. Consistency might as well be my middle name. Like, subscribe, share. Let's do this again next week. Appreciate y'all.